The Galactic Academy's Department of Historical Studies faced a serious crisis. For 3 months, Professor Valnari had attempted to lead the Great Conflicts course, and for 3 months her students had emerged traumatized, bewildered, or both. The tipping point occurred when a young Pakari student collapsed after witnessing footage from the Thraxian border dispute, a conflict deemed minor by galactic standards. "We need assistance," Nari admitted to the Academy board, her forearms gesturing in exasperation. The students cannot process warfare. They freeze. They panic. Some enter hibernation. How can they study history if they cannot even comprehend it? The board solution arrived 2 weeks later in the form of Lieutenant Colonel James Mitchell, retired from Earth's United Nations Peace Corps, the first human military advisor ever assigned to alien education. Mitchell stepped into the lecture hall to find 200 students from 30 different species. Most had never encountered a human in person. He noticed several students already displaying stress responses, dilated pupils, raised quills, bioluminescent fear patterns. "Good morning," Mitchell said calmly. "I understand you've been struggling with military history. Me guess. The violence seems senseless, the casualties incomprehensible, the strategies chaotic." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the room. A delicate Etherian student, barely perceptible in its gaseous form, asked, "How can any species destroy its own kind? Defies basic evolutionary logic." Mitchell nodded thoughtfully. "That's because you're viewing war through the lens of species that evolved via cooperation. Most of you come from worlds where intelligence arose after natural threats were minimized. Humans evolved differently. We developed intelligence while still prey, still hunting, still competing for resources." He activated a holographic display showing 2 human armies facing one another across a battlefield. "What do you see?" he asked. "Madness," whispered a 6-sided Korvox. "Members of the same species preparing to eliminate each other." "Look closer," Mitchell instructed, zooming in on individual soldiers. "Observe the formations, the uniforms, the coordinated movements. This isn't madness. It's perhaps humanity's most intricate social behavior. War demands cooperation, logistics, medicine, communication, engineering, psychology, and sacrifice. Every major human technological leap came from military research." Class shifted uneasily. "But the deaths," protested Professor Valnari. "The human world wars killed millions of your own kind." "Yes," Mitchell acknowledged gravely. "And those same wars led to the United Nations, antibiotics, nuclear power, satellites, computers, and eventually faster-than-light travel. We do not glorify war. We learn from it. Every human soldier knows conflict is failure, but a failure that teaches." He changed the display to show human peacekeepers stationed across the galaxy. "This is why the Galactic Council requests human military advisors. Despite our violent past, we understand conflict intimately. We know why wars start: resource scarcity, ideological differences, fear of the other. More importantly, we know how they end: exhaustion, mutual destruction, or one side realizing peace costs less than victory." A young Zelani raised a crystalline appendage. "The Thraxian border dispute lasted 300 cycles. Records show humans resolved it in 6 months. How?" Mitchell smiled grimly. "Because we recognized the pattern. We'd seen it 1,000 times in our own history. 2 powers neither strong enough to win decisively, bleeding resources in a stalemate. We introduced them to a human concept, the Demilitarized zone, a mutual step back. That allows both sides to claim victory. But surely, interjected an insectoid, HFY, advanced civilizations should be beyond such primitive solutions. That's your problem, Mitchell responded. You consider warfare primitive, so you never developed sophisticated responses to it. Humans studied war like you studied mathematics. We codified it. The Geneva Conventions, rules of engagement, proportional response. We turned barbarism into bureaucracy, chaos into chess. He paused, scanning the room. You need human war counselors not because we love war but because we've mastered ending it. Every human military advisor carries 4,000 years of conflict resolution and training. We've made every mistake, suffered every consequence, and documented every lesson. Professor Velnari's skin shifted to thoughtful purple. You're saying humans are valuable precisely because of your violent past. I'm saying we're valuable because we survived our violent past. Mitchell corrected. We're a species that invented nuclear weapons and then created nuclear treaties. We develop biological weapons and then conventions. We acquired the capacity for total war and then chose total peace. He displayed a final image. Earth from space, surrounded by defense satellites. Every human child studies military history not to celebrate it but to understand it. We study war so intensely because we know the cost of forgetting its lessons. Why you need us. We're the galaxy's antibodies against conflict, forged by surviving our own infectious violence. The classroom went silent, absorbing this unsettling logic. Finally, a small amphibious student spoke. So, humans are peaceful now because you were once excellent at war. Mitchell's expression remained serious. We're peaceful because we know exactly what happens when we're not. And that knowledge, that hard-earned wisdom, written in blood and reconciliation, is what we offer to teach. The bell rang, yet no one moved. Everyone was still, processing the paradox. Humanity's greatest contribution to galactic peace came from their intimate understanding of war. If you want, I can also make a slightly punchier cinematic version for a video script while keeping the same length, making it feel more suspenseful and immersive. Do you want me to do that next?